We love it raw.
Hi, this is We Love It Raw with A.S. Caldero, Chris Coury, the future, and V-Ness. Please subscribe, listen, share, tag, make people hear this. This is a great show. Thank you guys. We love you.
We love it raw.
Night of Champions 2015 is officially in the books, and this pay-per-view gave us a glimpse of what we can expect as we head down the road to Hell in a Cell. This was a night of firsts and a night of ongoing controversy. This was a night where every single WWE Championship was on the line. And I start Night of Champions with the Intercontinental Championship being defended. Ryback versus Kevin Owens. This was a recent addition to the Night of Champions card. And this was a grueling match as the champion Ryback faced off with the brash newcomer, a man who has made a direct impact in WWE, Kevin Owens. And this match, while it wasn't all that big, had a lot of moments where Kevin Owens was inches away from winning the Intercontinental title, and it had moments where Ryback was inches away from retaining the Intercontinental title. But a shocker came about. The Intercontinental Championship changed hands. Ryback had a very short reign since the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in May. Is now the former Intercontinental Champion as he lost to Kevin Owens. Shocking, nonetheless. But that was one of many WWE titles on the line. Next are the tag team titles. The New Day, the two-time champs, who won the belt again at SummerSlam in Brooklyn, faced off against the 9-time WWE Tag Team Champions. The team who is looking for title reign number 10 and the all-time record. New York's own, the Dudley Boys. And the New Day petitions before the match starts by saying that tables need to be saved. Petition was going out, and according to the New Day, it's been signed by many. Let me tell you this, I never self-signed it. I'm sure a lot of you people never signed that petition as well. So not everybody signed it, New Day. Get your facts straight. But enough about that. Dudley's and the New Day engaged in a good match. But unfortunately, the result had the New Day retaining the WWE Tag Team titles over the Dudleys. But the Dudleys, after the match, they weren't done. They wanted to, how can I say, make a statement of their own. But before they made the statement, the New Day mocked the Dudleys by saying, New Day, get the table. And this is coming from a team that petitioned to save the table. And that's how the hashtag Save the Tables got started. But that backfired. New Day ended up going through the tables. So, while New Day retained the tag team titles, New Day went through the tables. So, another shocking moment, as you may say, from Night of Champions. Then we had the Divas Championship match. Charlotte winning a number one contender spot on Raw by doing the Divas Beat the Clock challenge. Ended up going against Nikki Bella and her 301 day reign as Divas Champion. Now on Thursday, we had a Bellabration of some sorts, and that plan went awry as nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, showed up at the Bellabration on SmackDown Thursday night. So that was going to lead you to wonder, does anybody even like the Bellas? Well, with that, I say no, because nobody showed up to the Bellabration. So leading up to Night of Champions on Sunday, the question was going to be, will Nikki cement her legacy as trying to become the first female in WWE history to hold on to the Divas title for 1 year straight? We had the WWE title being held for 1 year straight, and that was done by Punk. But the Divas title has never been held for 1 year straight. And Nikki was on the verge of doing that. But she had to get through Charlotte. Charlotte made a statement. Bad knee and all, she made the statement and beat Nikki Bella and ended her 301 day reign as Divas Champion. So congratulations to Charlotte by becoming the new Divas Champion. Then we had a couple of side matches at Night of Champions. We had one match that was a side match that pitted Dolph Ziggler against Rusev. And Rusev would again prove to be a monster and beat Dolph Ziggler. Then we had the Wyatts against Reigns and Ambrose, Shield 2.0. But the question on everybody's mind, including mine, was who was going to be the third partner in this match? Who was going to complete this puzzle? Now, rumors were swirling as Night of Champions came about that it might have been Kane. Because he's had a couple of run-ins, again, like I said, with the Wyatts. Also, there was talks about Baron Corbin from NXT making the jump up to the main roster. Now, he's never had a run-in with Bray and the Wyatts, but he would be a formidable asset to Reigns and Ambrose in this all-out war. Now, those two never made it to being the partner. We found out it was the returning Chris Jericho back from tour with Fozzy. And social media blew up right away and said that this was a bad choice. It even got back to me on social media. Got me on Facebook, and I said, Jericho looked like a good asset to be with Reigns and Ambrose. And one of my friends said, bad choice. And I have to agree, sir. You were right. It was a bad choice. It backfired in many ways. Just when we thought that Reigns and Ambrose were going to pull off finally the win they needed to get over the Wyatts, Jericho tags himself in, much to the disarray of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, hits the Lionsault, but then gets bear hugged to death by Braun Strowman. After the match, Reigns and Ambrose have it out with Jericho, looking in much disgust. Like, why did you do that? We had the match. We were about to jump the hurdle we needed to get over with the Wyatts. Jericho didn't take too lightly to that, bumped right into Ambrose and Reigns, and walked right out. Crowd disliked it. So, that completely backfired in the face of Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So this war is far from over when it comes to them and the Wyatts. I'm just wondering, is anybody going to beat the Wyatts? That's for another time and another place. Then, the last side match we had was on the kickoff with Cosmic Wasteland, Stardust and the Ascension, Connor and Victor against Neville and the Lucha Dragons. And Cosmic Wasteland proved that they were better than the comic book superhero and the Flying Luchas from Mexico. So those were three non-important factors to Night of Champions, but they took place right away. Now on to our main event. Seth Rollins and his defending of the United States and WWE title. And we learned as the Night of Champions pay-per-view was about to begin that Seth Rollins had to defend those belts in back-to-back matches. So one was going to wonder, which match was going to be first? Was it going to be the WWE title or the US title? And we found out it was the United States title match, pitting Seth Rollins, who won the belt from John Cena in Brooklyn SummerSlam back in August, versus John Cena, who was a 4-time US champ. And I have to say that both men put on a good fight, okay? They were trying to one-up themselves with each of their own moves used against them. But in the end, John Cena would deliver the AA and thus become the 5-time United States champion. But that was only part 1 of the nightmare for Seth Rollins. Now, Seth tried to be a little sneak and say he's done. He was about to leave. He grabbed the WWE title and said, I'm done. I have a time, I'm going to go back and I'm going to recuperate and get freshened up, this and that. John Cena said, no. You have another match. Get to the ring. Rollins tried to get away. Cena AA'd Seth Rollins on the outside, threw Seth Rollins back in. Out comes Sting. So the WWE title match was now officially underway. And for Sting's first pay-per-view since WrestleMania, when he fought Triple H in Silicon Valley in California and San Fran back in March, Sting looked a little ring rusted, I might say, because Seth Rollins put a beating to Sting. And Sting had his moments. He had a couple of good points to the match, but Sting looked overall like he had a lot of ring rust to himself. And it proved to be big, as Seth Rollins retained the WWE Championship. So Seth was 1 for 1 on the night, which wasn't bad, wasn't good. It was a 500 night for Seth Rollins. So we thought, and he thought, that the nightmare was finally, over. It concluded. But there was an ace up his sleeve. Now, during the night, Sheamus told the authority, now Seth is ready. I'm ready. When it comes to Sheamus, possibly signaling a cash-in of his Money in the Bank contract that he won way back in June. And he had a year to cash that contract. But after the matches he had with Cena and Sting, did Seth Rollins, and after the grueling match he had with Sting, Seth Rollins was physically a little warm, but able to be aware of what could happen. Out comes Sheamus, gets a ref, avoids the belt, swinging by Rollins, hits a bro kick on Seth, lays Seth out flat. Tells the ref, I'm cashing in. Problem. There was another ace up the sleeve. Kane. Now, let me take you on a tour, a flashback tour of what I was talking about. A few months ago, Corporate Kane at the time was with Seth Rollins and the Authority and got taken out by Brock Lesnar. This was after The Undertaker, this was at Battleground, by the way, actually, when Taker came in and cost Brock Lesnar, so he decided to take it out on Rollins and Kane, quote-unquote, suffered a fractured, or as you want to say, a broken ankle. Seth Rollins mimicked Kane. So we haven't seen Kane since Battleground. So as Seth was about to lose the WWE title to Sheamus, as Sheamus was about to cash in, we hear the flames, we hear the theme. We were all shocked. It was Kane. Now, the question was it going to be Demon Kane, the Demon's favorite child, or was it going to be the suit-wearing, pant-loving, corporate wimp, known as Corporate Kane? Well, we got our answer. It was the Demon's favorite child. It was Demon Kane, who actually came to save the day for Seth Rollins. He chokeslammed Sheamus after Sheamus told Kane to lay a beating down. Kane took notice, laid out Sheamus. Sets his eyes on Seth Rollins, chokeslams Seth Rollins. But Kane wasn't done. Oh, no. Kane then picked up Seth and tombstone pile drived Seth Rollins into the abyss known as hell. So as Night of Champions was going off the air, Kane was in the middle of the ring over the WWE champion, and that can only lead to a possibility at Hell in a Cell. Kane, Seth Rollins, WWE title inside the cell. That should be something to watch out for. But other than that, at Night of Champions, nothing else big happened, nothing else transpired. And Night of Champions is now officially in the books. So for Night of Champions 2015 review, I am the boss, telling you to watch out. Because like you saw at Night of Champions, nobody is safe from anybody.
Thank you. As I said, there are times in a man's life that things are so special they just, you don't know what to say. Like the first time you step through that curtain if you're a wrestler, the first time you walk down that ramp, the first time you look at 10,000 people, and then there's the second time, and then you win your first championship. Or your second, or your third, or your fourth. Or you fall in love. Once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times. God only knows a couple of those were a mistake, okay? But make no mistake of this. The proudest moment in my entire life is not my world championship win in 1981 or my match with Shawn Michaels when I retired. The proudest moment of my wrestling career was last night when my little girl won the Divas Championship.
That was an uplifting message by the 2-time Hall of Famer, the 16-time champ, Ric Flair. And that is how we start. We love it raw. And that message by the Nature Boy was in regards to his baby girl's big victory at Night of Champions. And it was, in Rick's opinion, the proudest moment of his life. So Charlotte comes down with her teammates, Paige and Becky. And Charlotte gives, a very good, compelling thank you to her father and to the fans and to Becky and Paige. But Paige looked kind of baffled, like, you're taking the credit for something that I did, that I started? So Paige decides to take the mic and look at Charlotte, and she says the following.
This is all so nice. And you know what? You won the championship yesterday. And this whole celebration is for Charlotte. But let's just think about, who really made this possible. And that's me. No, shut up, Becky. Shut up. This is patronizing. Oh, I love you, Daddy. And oh my gosh, I wouldn't be here without you. Yeah. You sound like you've just been inducted into the bloody Hall of Fame is what you sound like. Yes, I won the championship too. You won it. So what? I won it on my first day. I won it twice. And you know what? Here's a little secret. Champ to champ. Title reigns end. And Nikki's gonna get her rematch, and she's gonna bring a little hippie sister and a little third wheel, and they're gonna take that back, and the Divas division is gonna go back right where it was. There is no revolution, Charlotte. You are just a placeholder.
A placeholder by Paige to Charlotte. Now that was shocking. And with that message delivered by Paige to the new Divas champion, is PCB on the verge of saying sayonara, arrivederci, goodbye? Only time is going to find out what that situation brings to what is now becoming a full-fledged, all-out Divas Revolution assault. Because now Charlotte is the hunted, the others are the hunter for that belt. So if I was you, Charlotte, watch out. Grow a pair of eyes in the back of your head. Because, girlfriend, I'm telling you right now, you are going to need those eyes in the back of your head. But that wasn't the only thing that took place on Monday Night Raw. As I was telling you all, this was the fallout from Monday Night Raw. And while that was one part of a fallout from Night of Champions, there was yet another fallout from Night of Champions. What am I going to be talking about? Let me take you on a flashback tour. Since Money in the Bank, Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt have been in a feud for the lifetimes. While one thinks they can upsmart one, another upsmarts another, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. So on Monday Night Raw, Bray Wyatt, with his family, Strowman and Harper, come out and they deliver what I think is a very important message to one Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. What you're about to hear, I want you to decipher what this message could mean, leading to hell in a cell.
Roman Reigns! I tried to warn you with my words, but apparently I didn't speak loud enough. We tried to warn you with our actions, but it seems that we weren't able to hit hard enough. But you, Roman, you were a fool if you thought for even a second that you would be able to outrun your destiny. Because last night, at Night of Champions, I reached up into Mount Olympus and I grabbed the golden idol by his throat and I brought him to his knees.
Chilling, right? Try to decipher that message. Does it sound like another challenge that the Wyatts are issuing to Reigns and Ambrose? Like, let's finish this, let's end it, and let's see who stands on top? That's what it sounded like to me. I want to hear what you have to say and what you think about that. But as that message was being encrypted by Bray, Reigns, Ambrose make their way to the ring and start an all-out assault on the Wyatts. But just like other times, the Wyatts prove that they're stronger, brighter, and have what it takes to run the WWE for many years. But let's not forget, there's one individual who's had his run-ins with Randy Orton, with the Wyatts, and his name is Randy Orton. Again, flashback, a few weeks ago, as we were approaching Night of Champions, Ambrose and Reigns were trying to recruit someone that they thought they can trust to have this war with the Wyatts. And they were talking to Randy Orton. And it appeared that Orton was going to be their partner. The Wyatts took notice and thus took out Randy Orton. So on Raw, as Ambrose and Reigns, yes, were getting their asses handed to them, again by the Wyatts, Orton makes his return and lays waste to the Wyatts. So now the question that I am posing to you, our fans, is this. With that message encrypted by Bray and the Wyatts, is there another challenge? And will Randy Orton help Ambrose and Reigns once and for all put an end to the Wyatts' terror reign? That is something to watch out for. Keep an eye out for that. Because at Hell in a Cell, you're going to see, I think, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Wyatts take it all out in the Hell in a Cell. But that's just my opinion. What's yours? Interesting. Something to watch out for. Other notables on Monday Night Raw: the Intercontinental Championship, Ryback, Bo Dallas, Kevin Owens on the side, tries to pose as a distraction. Ryback destroys Bo Dallas, sets his sights on Kevin Owens. Not too big of a deal. Also, tag team, Dudley's teamed up with Ziggler, Rusev and the New Day. Rusev and New Day pick up a big win over the Dudleys and Dolph Ziggler. But we learned something after that match. Saturday, a week from Saturday, at MSG, in the heart of Manhattan, we learned on Raw that it will be the Dudleys versus the New Day for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And what better way for the Dudleys to regain and set the all-time record for most tag team title reigns in WWE history by none other than winning the gold in New York City. That will be something I think can happen. And what other better place, like I said, than Madison Square Garden. I will give you the results of that on the next episode of We Love It Raw. So be on the lookout and stay tuned for that update. Other situations that were going on during Monday Night Raw is this whole thing now with Kane and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins wanted to talk to Triple H and Steph, sees corporate Kane, and he's thinking in his head, what happened in 24 hours? So he tries to go to Triple H and Stephanie, and they look baffled too. Like, what are you talking about, Seth? What do you mean? So Triple H and Stephanie decide, let's take a look and let's see what Seth is talking about. And they see corporate Kane, and they're in shock, like, weren't you just at the pay-per-view and Night of Champions? And Kane's like, what are you talking about? And Stephanie's like, where's the mask? And Kane just continues to look baffled, like, what are you talking about? So we find out that what Seth Rollins thought was true came true. Because after the rematch with John Cena for the U.S. title, we hear Kane's Flames and song hit. But where was Kane? Where was the big red monster? Where was the demon's favorite child? Well, he took a page out of the Undertaker's old school playbook. He comes out through the bottom of the ring, and just like what the Undertaker used to do, drags Seth Rollins. What we appear and what it looked like was straight to hell. Now, the question I'm going to pose to our fans, our listeners, is this. With that statement posed by Kane on Monday Night Raw, and with what transpired at Night of Champions with Sting, will Sting and Kane have a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell for the WWE title? Will we see a triple threat Hell in a Cell WWE title match? Or will we just see Kane versus Rollins at Hell in a Cell? Those are interesting points that should be looked at and thought about very carefully. I want to hear what you, our listeners, have to say. Very, very interesting. But other than that, on Monday Night Raw, nothing really big to really talk about, other than they were broadcasting the Brock Lesnar Go to Hell tour. And that's something I'm going to be watching. But other than that, on Monday Night Raw, nothing else to really discuss. So I will close this out by saying that we are on the road to Hell in a Cell. The City of Angels will not be safe as October 25th fast approaches. I look for Hell to reign supreme on Monday Night Raw for now until Hell in a Cell. So with that being said, I am the boss, Chris Coury. And for my partner who is not here but working his ass off to make this show better, Mr. Caldero, tune in next week for another exciting episode of We Love It Raw, Road to Hell in a Cell. Total Divas this week was nothing out of the ordinary, because it was a total diva vacation down in Tulum, Mexico. And we found out that Mexico has a deep heart to Nikki, because we learned that Nikki is half Mexican. And Bree set this whole thing up, and Nikki was really impressed with what Bree planned for Nikki, because Bree felt that it was time that Nikki learns her culture, the roots, the heritage, the history of Mexico, and what Mexico was all about during the colonial years, the earlier years, the war years, and what it's like now. And it caught Nikki by surprise, and Nikki learned a lot. So Nikki was really, really thankful to her sister that she cared so much about wanting Nikki to learn a lot more about Mexico. So that was a good start to Total Divas. But there was a part of Total Divas that almost got ugly. A video got leaked. Naomi, aka Trinity, twerking, dancing, as you want to say. And Foxy recorded the video, leaked it, and Trinity had it out with Foxy, and Trinity was very afraid, very upset, and very angry that now that it's out there, her husband John, aka Jimmy Uso, is going to look at this video and question, can Naomi be trusted by herself? Or does she need some sort of parental or marriage supervision whenever she goes away by herself with the Divas? So hopefully something comes about of that next week on the season finale of Total Divas. Also, Paige finally came out and broke the ice, saying she really is engaged to Kevin. And we learned that actually last week. So Paige finally broke the ice with that news in Mexico. And finally, the last part of Total Divas, and we all know, and was a complete shocker, not only to the fans of Total Divas, but to everybody around the world. WWE, WCW, NWA, was the passing of Dusty Rhodes, and we learned on this episode of Total Divas that the girls got gist of Dusty's passing, and all just sat in like complete silence. You know, they were in a complete, I would say, state of shock to learn the news that their mentor, their father figure, the man they gained so much information from, left the world in a short amount of time. And we learned that Natty took it really hard because she was there when Dusty was NXT commissioner, and Dusty and the Hearts go, way back to days of WWF, NWA, and WCW. So it really hit Natty really hard. But that was the sad part, to the girls, and they were in complete shock. They couldn't believe it, that it really happened. But that's about all that went down. I mean, it was just like a Divas Vacation episode of Total Divas. Fun, controversial, and sad moments. So, next week, as I was mentioning earlier, is the season finale of Total Divas. And a quick highlight we're going to learn is that Nikki Bella's ex-boyfriend makes a shocking return. Why? I'm thinking to win back Nikki. But I don't know if Nikki's ex is aware that Nikki is now tied up with United States Champion John Cena. So, hopefully next week on the season finale of Total Divas, Cena and Nikki's ex really meet eye to eye and try to, break the ice. Like, tell one, I'm in her life, you were in her life, so it's my time. So, we'll see what happens as we fast approach the season finale of Total Divas.